Hey everyone, how's it going? Thanks so much for tuning in. Today, we're going to be taking an in-depth look at the 2025 Buick Envista Sport Touring. As with all of my reviews, I'm going to cover all of the ins and outs and take this thing on a thorough drive. Of course, there's a whole lot of stuff to cover, so without further ado, let's go ahead and start her up and let her run. The Buick Envista was designed from the onset to be one of the most affordable crossovers in its segment, offering a nice interior and upscale design and plenty of technologies for the modern era to attract migrating sedan owners, young professionals, and small families to the Buick portfolio. The Envista is the mechanical cousin to the Chevrolet Trax, which is an incredible value in itself, but that's where the similarities end. The Envista is more upscale, not just from a design perspective, but it has nicer interior trimmings and a more refined driving experience. It splits the difference between mainstream and premium. Although prices have gone up a bit over last year, it's still a very attractive vehicle, especially when you dive into the specifics. For 2025, changes are minimal. There's a new aquamarine blue color available on the Sport Touring, remote start and rear park assist are now standard on all trims, and the engine is now flex fuel capable. Compared to the more expensive Encore GX, the Envista rides on a 4-inch longer wheelbase and is 11 inches longer overall. This makes for an impressively large rear seat for a compact crossover. It's a lot sleeker of a design too, mainly thanks to its 3-inch lower roofline and coupe-like profile. One of the biggest differences between the Envista and the Encore GX, aside from its design, is that the Envista is only offered with one engine and front-wheel drive. The Encore GX is offered with all-wheel drive and a slightly more powerful engine. The Envista was first launched as a 2024 model and was the first Buick to fully adopt the brand's newest styling language, inspired by the Wildcat EV concept, characterized by a low-profile silhouette, a long wheelbase, and a forward-leaning nose. Complementing this is a new Buick emblem positioned directly above the sleek, intricately designed grille. The Envista takes the place of the standard Encore and is a huge departure in every way. The body sides encompass sculptural beauty with powerful fender forms and a sculpted waistline that create the perception of fluid motion. The headlamps and tail lamps evolve Buick's signature wing lighting with a thinner and more crisp form. LED checkmark lamps are mounted high on the fascia, while other functional lighting is lower on the body. The Envista is currently offered in 3 trim levels, including the $25,195 Preferred, the $26,695 Sport Touring, and the $29,995 Avenir. I included destination costs in those prices. There's up to 8 colors to choose from, but some of them are exclusive to a certain trim. This example is finished in Ocean Blue Metallic, which is a $495 option on the Sport Touring. The Sport Touring differentiates itself cosmetically with blacked out window trim, a blacked out grille, black body side moldings, and black wheels. The Avenir is the more luxury focused of the bunch and features upscale styling cues such as additional chrome trim, body color moldings, fancier wheels, and all of the bells and whistles, including unique taillights. This Sport Touring is equipped with several optional packages, including the Convenience 1 and 2 packages, a power tilt sliding moonroof, the Advanced Safety Package, upgraded 19-inch wheels, and the extra cost paint. The total MSRP for what you see here is $30,465. Depending on the trim level, the Envista comes standard with 17, 18, or 19-inch alloy wheels. You also have the option of upgrading to the next size up unless already equipped with 19-inch wheels. For example, the Sport Touring features 18 by 7.5-inch black painted wheels that are wrapped in 225/55 all-season tires. These wheels in particular, also finished in gloss black, are a $495 option. They measure 19 by 8 inches and are wrapped in 245/45 all-season tires. Stopping power comes from 4-wheel disc brakes with electric power assistance. The rotors span 11.8 inches in the front and 11.3 inches in the rear. They're clamped down by single piston calipers. The discs benefit from GM's Duralife technology, which uses a process called ferritic nitrocarburizing to give them superior resistance to corrosion and rust. The front discs are internally ventilated for improved cooling. With this setup, the Envista stops smoothly and sure-footedly with great stability, coming down from 60 miles an hour between 120 and 125 feet. The parking brake is an electronic setup, engaged by a button in the center console behind the shifter. The suspension consists of independent McPherson struts in front and a compound crank setup in the rear. When you add the 19-inch wheels on the Sport Touring, the rear suspension is upgraded to a Watts-Link design for improved handling, ride quality, and cabin isolation. The Watts-Link setup is standard on the Avenir. I thought the overall handling and stability was quite good. It's not really agile, but it takes curves well without too much body roll, and the ride quality is pretty supple. It feels more like a car than an SUV. The steering is an electric rack and pinion setup that's surprisingly weighty and offers a sporty feel. The turning circle with the larger wheels is 38.4 feet. The flat bottom steering wheel is leather wrapped on the Sport Touring and features grip bolsters at 10 and 2. It's manually adjustable for tilt and reach. A really nice standard feature for the class is the 8-inch diagonal color driver information center. It's incorporated into the wide, one-piece curved instrument panel, which also includes the central infotainment system. The instrument cluster provides key vehicle information such as vehicle speed, fuel range, average fuel economy, tire pressure, oil life, trip odometer, warning icons, and more. It's also reconfigurable with different display formats. Using the buttons on the right side of the steering wheel, you can switch between the various display formats to suit your preference. The Envista has a lot going for it when it comes to style and affordability. However, one area it's lacking is performance. Under the hood is a turbocharged 1.2-liter inline 3-cylinder engine that features aluminum construction, dual overhead cams, 4 valves per cylinder, variable valve timing, and direct fuel injection. It develops 137 horsepower at 5,000 RPM and 162 pound-feet of torque between 2,500 and 4,000 RPM. This translates to a 0 to 60 time of around 8.6 seconds. For a general commuter, the Envista has adequate performance, but it still leaves a lot to be desired. It performs no difference from a Chevrolet Trax. Power delivery is pretty smooth and the transmission is responsive, but there is some noticeable turbo lag with heavy throttle inputs. Higher speed maneuvers will require more careful planning. For most folks, I'm sure that it's more than adequate, but in my opinion, a small 4-cylinder engine might have been a better option here, as it wouldn't have to work quite as hard as the 3-cylinder. That being said, it is surprisingly quiet and very smooth. The Envista is also front-wheel drive only and does not offer any selectable drive modes. A 6-speed automatic transmission is standard. Along with a 3.5:1 final drive ratio, the transmission has an electronic range select feature that allows you to manually select which gears you want the transmission to shift between, such as when driving up and down steep grades. It's engaged by pulling the shifter all the way back to the L position. A while back, I had the opportunity to drive a Buick Encore GX with a 1.3-liter turbo 3-cylinder, all-wheel drive, and the 9-speed transmission. I bring that up because the Encore GX is also available with the 1.2-liter and front-wheel drive, but it comes paired to a continuously variable transmission. I do like that the Envista has a conventional automatic. The 6-speed performs just fine. After all, the Envista is meant to target a lower price point, so some of its shortcomings are understandable. That being said, I think there's so much more potential, and potentially an even wider customer base with a more powerful engine and the option of all-wheel drive, but of course that's going to jack up the price. When it comes to fuel economy, EPA estimates range between 28 miles per gallon in the city and 32 miles per gallon on the highway. During my week of driving, I averaged around 30 miles per gallon. The Envista uses regular unleaded gasoline and has a total tank capacity of 13.2 gallons. A selectable auto start-stop system is standard. As I mentioned, one of the changes for 2025 is that you can now run flex fuel up to E85. For this class and price point, the Envista has a roomy cabin with great storage and lots of standard and available tech. As expected, materials used are on the cheaper side with more hard surfaces than soft, but at least for the front seats, there's soft touch materials on the essential touch points and even across the middle of the dashboard, which is a nice touch. Standard Buick Quiet Tuning combines several technologies to help reduce, block, and absorb unwanted sounds for a quiet interior, including active noise cancellation. On the Preferred and Sport Touring, a 6-way manual driver's seat is standard along with a 4-way manual passenger seat. Available on the Sport Touring and standard on the Avenir is an 8-way power driver's seat with 2-way power lumbar, not to mention keyless open and start. The standard upholstery is a combination of cloth and leatherette. The Sport Touring gets full leatherette. The front seats are pretty comfortable overall. Heated front seats are available along with a heated steering wheel. The only model that's offered with anything other than black upholstery is the Avenir, which also replaces the leatherette for genuine leather. The Sport Touring receives nicer interior furnishings compared to a Preferred, such as a leather-wrapped steering wheel, additional soft touch points, unique Santorini blue stitching, and accent piping, not to mention ST logos on the headrests, gloss black trim accents on the dash and center console, and unique door trim. An 11-inch diagonal HD color touchscreen is standard, along with a 6-speaker audio system. The capacitive touch design works just like a smartphone for ease of use. In addition to standard wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, you have Bluetooth audio streaming, the ability to connect to Bluetooth-enabled devices, Sirius XM satellite radio, and a voice command system. The infotainment system is very simple, with just the basics included. Having the smartphone integration technologies allows you to port over your favorite navigation and media apps and more. A 4G LTE Wi-Fi hotspot is standard. Type A and Type C USB data and charging ports can be found in the center console, along with a 12-volt power outlet. In addition to the climate controls in the center stack, you can also operate the climate settings within the infotainment system. It's a single-zone system with manual controls and digital readouts. An automatic climate control system is included with the Avenir, along with other convenience features such as an auto-dimming rearview mirror. As I mentioned earlier, the Sport Touring is offered with several packages and standalone options. The Power Moonroof with Sunshade is a $795 option. The Convenience One package, which costs $895, adds a heated steering wheel, keyless open, a powered driver's seat with lumbar, heated front seats, and a heated steering wheel. The Convenience 2 package, which costs $595, adds a power rear liftgate, a wireless phone charger, and rain-sensing windshield wipers. The Envista comes standard with Buick's Driver Confidence Package. The package includes 6 active safety and driver assistance technologies such as automatic emergency braking, lane keep assist with lane departure warning, IntelliBeam automatic high beams, hill start assist, forward collision alert, following distance indicator, and more. You also have some extras such as teen driver, buckle to drive, and rear seat reminder. A high-definition rear vision camera with backup lines is standard. With the Sport Touring's advanced safety package, you get lane change alert with side blind zone alert, adaptive cruise control, and rear cross traffic alert. The package costs $595. As I mentioned, RainSense automatic windshield wipers are available. As far as airbags, all Envistas feature frontal airbags for the driver and front passenger, seat-mounted side impact airbags for the driver and front passenger, and head curtain airbags for the front and rear outboard seating positions. In its basic configuration, the Envista's rear seat isn't much to write home about, but it does offer pretty good room overall for a smaller crossover. Enabled by the long wheelbase and efficient layout, the Envista offers the spaciousness and legroom often seen in much larger vehicles. It offers more legroom than any prior Buick small SUV, including the Encore GX. The headrests are adjustable and foldable for extra visibility, but the rear seat is fixed in place, with the exception of the folding mechanisms that help expand cargo space. It's not until you get to the Envista Avenir that you get some nicer amenities. They include adjustable air vents in the back of the center console for greater rear seat comfort, a fold-down armrest with cup holders, and an additional seat back storage pocket on the driver's seat. Being 5 foot 10 inches, I did not have any issues with rear seat space. In fact, I had over an inch of headroom left over and plenty of leg space. You can seat up to 3 people back here, and there's latch child seat anchors in all 3 positions. The rear seat has good padding and is decently comfortable. Overhead, there's grab handles, coat hooks, and a microphone for the hands-free phone system. You also have overhead lighting and lower door pockets. The Envista's available power liftgate fully opens and closes with the touch of a button, adding more convenience and a premium touch. Electronic obstacle detection will reverse an automatic open or close if it senses something in its path to help prevent damage to the liftgate. A removable privacy cover is standard to keep prying eyes off your cargo. Behind the rear seat, you have 20.7 cubic feet of cargo space. The rear seat is a 60-40 split design for cargo and passenger flexibility. If you folded everything flat, you'll notice that the load floor is flat, which is really nice. The Envista's total cargo capacity is 42 cubic feet. On the left side of the trunk floor, you'll find a decent-sized cubby as well as illumination. Underneath the trunk floor is where you'll find a temporary spare tire and all of the related changing equipment. There's also enough space if you needed to stow additional emergency items. The trunk floor can be positioned in a way that it remains in an open position for added convenience. Considering its size, the Envista has great interior storage too. The center console has 2 cup holders and a couple of storage cubbies, including the ones underneath the padded armrest, plus large door pockets. As I mentioned, the Sport Touring is offered with a wireless phone charger. Various USB outlets in the front and rear allow for easy device connectivity and charging. The glove box isn't lockable, but it has an impressive amount of space. In the rear, there's a single seatback pocket on the passenger side, as well as lower door storage and a small cubby in the back of the center console. Well everyone, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Please don't forget to leave a like down below because it really helps the videos a lot. And if you haven't subscribed already, consider doing that as well and make sure those notifications are on. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.